Good evening, everyone. My name is Lance Sanders. I am a special education classroom assistant in Chicago, Illinois, and I'm a part of Chicago Public Schools. Today, I will be giving you guys a rundown on how to build a safe learning environment for the 7th and 8th grade band. So first, I would like to talk about the mindset of a teacher. A teacher attitude and perception of their class is so important because it's who the teacher is presenting to our students and how they deliver messages, how they correct them, how they guide them. Teachers are the motivators, right? They're the examples and the first mindset that that students get when they think about school or they think about learning or they think about what happens in class and what type of support they have. I believe that the mindset of a teacher to be patient, um, to be kind, to be respectful, um, and fair, hard but fair, because there are going to be times where limits are tested. Students will need support. It may not be fully black and white, and there are gray areas or outside factors that trigger students. Um, and when all hopes is lost, and outside of the school um, isn't the best place, inside the class may be a struggle. They should know that they have a patient teacher waiting for them. Um, Inside of a classroom, I believe that teachers need the support of administration to be materially prepared. I think when schools are unprepared material wise, it pushes the teachers to use their ingenuity, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but it can be distractive to students. Getting students, maybe 2 to 3 students, reading from one book or trying to share an assignment or the school not having enough paper. It gets difficult with the many factors that teachers already face. So having them prepared, I think, is a great support for the teachers. Secondly, I believe someone like myself having a special education classroom assistant. Um, not all students may be documented with diverse learners or any 504 plans or IEPs. But to have a classroom assistant allows the teacher to teach at a comfortable pace while they have the support of someone filling in that gap, building the bridge, um, connecting the dots for students who may need a little bit of extra explanation, more time, or some small group. Um, I believe that there are a couple ways to build some independence within the classroom and some self advocacy skills. One one way to do that in class is to in the seventh, 8th grade class is to promote getting on the outside team or group like student council. Promote students to take some pride and some responsibility in their school where they have to hold themselves accountable and they have to hold their peers accountable. Another way to build that self advocacy and the independence in the classroom is being able to share, well, for one, doing do now discussions, and from there, transitioning into open group discussions with your class where they have to share and they have to read aloud what they have written, um, because they have to consistently get up and speak in front of their peers, which can be nerve wracking, but over time, getting everyone to share, you don't have to get everyone to share in a day, but specific days, hey, you five students share. All right, the next day, you five students are going to share. So everyone works those skills. Lastly, I would say for a technology, strategy would be to allow a learning tool called Kahoot. It is a system where you can create your own questions, or they create questions for you, but you can include the curriculum that's being taught and ask certain questions where students have the right to either work in a group or work alone, and they compete to answer the questions that you create for them. So I think that's a great way to have fun, keep everyone active, and they're competing to be the best student in class, which I think is awesome. Um, Lastly, uh, I think a research-based strategy that is helpful is restorative practices. So, in classrooms or throughout the day, there may be situations that happen, um, and sometimes that they get either swept under the rug, or they get passed on to another staff member, or a dean, or a principal, and they're not really talked about. And a restorative practice is, for example, students have disagreements. Instead of sending them out of the room and not talking about it again, all the other students are kind of on edge or on this cliff because they just saw some students get into a verbal altercation. To clean that up and to circle back will be to have those same students that have that verbal altercation come into class, and we discuss as a unit, as a classroom, how we could have handled that situation better. How do we avoid it becoming a verbal altercation? So restorative practices is, just being able to have an open discussion about certain things that happen within our class. Fights, arguments. It can be a team winning Kahoot. Hey, we this team may have won because in a certain times they work together here, as opposed to the other team, you guys didn't work together. Just being reflective as a class and showing them how to properly communicate with each other. Again, my name is Lance Sanders, and I hope this video was supportive in creating a safe environment. Thank you.